So what is environmental scanning? Well, I've got the answer for it right here. Talk about just generally what it's all about, and then I'm going to briefly touch on some of the major areas in each of the quadrants of a chart that I haven't shown you yet. Again, this is a systematic approach to looking at what's going on in the world around you. There are two dimensions that we want to look at when we're evaluating this. There's macro versus micro, and issues that are macro affect all businesses. Issues that are micro affect your business specifically. Okay? And then internal versus external, this is in terms of whether or not you can do anything about it. So external issues are things that you have no control over. Internal issues are things that you do have control over, which leads to this framework, which I feel is useful for environmental scanning. It's your famous 2x2 consulting matrix. You have on one axis external versus internal, meaning whether or not you have control over it. And on the other axis, macro versus micro, meaning whether it affects all industries or whether it affects just your company. And you can see we have 4 quadrants in the upper left. In one of the quadrants that's on the external macro side, this is where most people focus when they think about environmental scanning. Here we have issues, what's going on in the world around us, sociocultural, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the competition, what's going on with the laws, the legal system. Those affect all companies, and it's largely outside of your control as to what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the culture in which you do business. Moving on, we have the external microenvironment. These are things that affect all companies but are within your control. And this would be customers and suppliers, your supply chain, and your marketing channels. I don't have control over which customers are going to buy my product, but I have control over the target or the segments that I target. Similarly, I can't force a supplier to sell to me, but I have choices as to the suppliers that I choose to do business with. And then down in the micro-internal quadrant are things that are affecting only your business and are within your control. This would be the internal managerial stuff, internal capabilities. And then for those of you who are anal retentive, I really apologize. But I have down here the macro-internal, there's nothing there. And I know we've got to put something in there because it's really out of balance. And the reason is, unless you are God, there is nothing that affects the entire world that is within your control. So that's undefined. That's just a meaningless segment.